In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good morning everybody, and if you're watching on the replay, which is about a 99.9% chance, it is 17 minutes past 5 in the morning, and to be completely honest with you, I just have no time in the day to be streaming and everything, so essentially I'm streaming now. And I was just listening into Jason's stream just now, and good old Vince Chapman was on there talking about me triple captaining ZAHA, and I've apparently lost the plot according to Jason. Absolute nonsense. So last night I put on YouTube, and Davey FPL had uploaded a video, and it just said triple game week for United, Fernandes captain. I was just like, what the huh? Clicked his video, and he confirmed that, I say confirmed, he just told the news that there has been a triple game week announced for Man United. If I just scroll down, and there they are up on screen now. I mean, they won't even be able to fit on the screen. But yeah, Aston Villa, Man United, and then Liverpool. Aston Villa, Leicester, and then Liverpool. The good news, the bad news is that 2 of the games are at home, where we all know Man United's home record is shocking, so to speak. Or more to the point, they concede a lot of goals. But it's so annoying because I generally had the thought process of, right, I'm triple captaining ZAHA. But now it's a case of, well, I may as well just triple captain MAGUIRE. I'm definitely going to be bringing in MAGUIRE. I genuinely don't know whether or not to be bringing in for a -8, which I don't want to do, but it would be to bring in probably the most nailed on for Man United, which would be MAGUIRE and Wan-Bissaka. And I'd bring in Wan-Bissaka for Cancelo or Target. No, it wouldn't be for Target because he's got a double. Probably for Cancelo. So it'd be Cancelo and Alonso out for MAGUIRE and Wan-Bissaka. And almost certainly triple captain MAGUIRE. But as I keep saying, we are going to run through my score predictions. I do pride myself on them. But it's just annoying that this triple game week's come out, because I really wanted to go with the ZAHA triple captaincy. I'd have said on a members video the other day that I said it months ago that it'll end up me triple captaining ZAHA, and it would be madness not to triple captain a Man United player. It's frustrating. Man United are guaranteed, I reckon, 2 clean. I reckon, personally, I think they're going to beat Aston Villa 1-0, 1-2-0. Leicester, I reckon Leicester might nick that, possibly. Maybe like a 1-1, 2-1 either way. And then the Liverpool game, I mean, that's 0-0 written all over it. 1-0 maybe Liverpool, something like that. But I honestly think there's a higher chance of Man United getting 2 clean sheets than Fernandes getting 2 attacking returns, because I think Fernandes will be rested across one of the 3 fixtures. They're through to the Europa League final. Solskjaer would be... I mean, didn't he play Fernandes in that terrible fixture in the Europa League this year where it was a dead game and yet he still played Fernandes, which miffed not only me but lots and lots and lots of Man United supporters. And yeah, I just think that Solskjaer will rest him tonight. They've then got their game on Sunday. It's a big game against Leicester. The thing is, it's like I said about the Tottenham game when they played... God knows who. Let's have a look. Who was it again? It was in their double game week. And it was all about... Southampton. And it was all down to the result of what would happen between Everton and Spurs. And I said if they weren't to get a win in that game, then the Southampton game's going to be a dud. Now, obviously, that week, if you remember, Mourinho was fired. So all bets were off by that point for the Southampton game, and obviously Ryan Mason took over. But with Man City pretty much wrapping up the title, you've then got Man United within reason. And I'm going to quickly look over the... whoscored.com. I just want to quickly look over the league table, because that Liverpool game could just be rotation. So, yeah, Man United are, God knows how many points, 13 points behind Man. Right, so it's a question of holding on to second, which they should do. They've got a 4-point lead over Leicester, so that's 4 games left, so that's 12 points up for grabs. Man United need to win 2 give or take, whatever the maths is on that, to guarantee second. Their upcoming fixtures are, of course, versus who we've just mentioned. So Aston Villa, they'll put out within reason a full strength team. Within reason, I think there may be the odd, like the likes of possibility of Luke Shaw maybe being dropped, possibly. But I think it'll be full strength versus Aston Villa, full strength versus Leicester, and then it's just the Liverpool game where... So there's 5 days in between their game versus Liverpool and Fulham. They'll make changes versus Fulham, and then the final day of the season is against a pathetic Wolves team. So I think that... It's so tough because Solskjaer's very, very loyal to his team, isn't he? So loyal to his team. I mean, the guaranteed starters, no matter what, are within reason, despite what I've just said. Fernandes and Maguire. Fact. Those 2, no matter what. Then you've got the likes of Greenwood, no chance. I know Semi-Sweet Potatoes got him in. I know various other people have got Greenwood in, but he ain't going to be playing 3 matches. Let alone, they got 2, 4, 6, 7 games left, including tonight's Europa League and the Europa League final. So 7 games left. Greenwood will be lucky to start 4. But I reckon he plays tonight I reckon he'll play versus Roma. Aston Villa probably benched. Leicester, depending on how they get on against Aston Villa, probably start versus Leicester. And then he'll probably start against Liverpool and then be dropped against Fulham and Wolves. I don't even know what Man United's first team is, to be honest with you. I mean, if I was to look at the team statistics and look at their usual starting 11 for the season, it would appear that, and this is across the whole season, so it's been De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, and then in front of them McTominay, Fred, and then Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford, and Martial up front. Well, we know Martial can clear off, replacing with Cavani / Rashford. You've then got Dan James in there. Yeah, so people aren't going to be going with the goalkeeper because there's too much risk there. You've then got Maguire, Shaw, and Wan-Bissaka, so that's 3. Fernandes 4, and then it's just a toss-up between, if you're really, really wanting to, Greenwood, Rashford, and Cavani. Well, of Rashford, Cavani, and Greenwood, Rashford is the most nailed on, if anything. But the reality is that I think that the safest bet for this triple game week for Man United is probably Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, and Bruno Fernandes. And of course, everybody's going to be, for obvious reasons, captaining Fernandes. But his form has been terrible over God knows how many weeks. If I was to look at his so-called recent stats that he's been bringing in for himself, the reality being is that it's not been that overwhelming, despite being top scoring midfielder. Let's have a quick look. Last 5 matches, 3, 5, 2, 2, 3. Away at Man City, he got 10 points. And then a 3 and a 3, both away at Crystal Palace and Chelsea. Then he got a 12 point. Basically, there was a block between game week 22 up until 27. He got 17 versus Southampton in a 9-0 win. 7 points in a 3-3 with Everton. 9 away at West Brom in a 1-1. He got 12 points in a 3-1 win versus Newcastle, and then those 2 single digits, 3-3, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, and then 10 away at Man City, and then it's just, like I said, 3, 5, 2, 2, 3. Awful. Whereas if you look at, for the likes, for argument's sake, the top scoring Man United defender being Wan-Bissaka, you know, it's not that bad. In the last 5, 2, 2, 1, 9. Prior to that, 6, 6, 6. It's the number of the beast. 2, 2, 4, 17, 8. So really, the wise play would be bringing in Wan-Bissaka. But then again, isn't it right in saying that Luke Shaw is the highest scoring defender this year? If I was to look over him, for argument's sake, once again he's starting the last, since game week 23. He has started every single game, played every minute. There was a period between, so game week 20 he played 8 minutes versus Sheffield United, and then in game week 22 he only played 45 minutes in a 9-0 win versus Southampton, but he still got 7 points with 2 assists. But Luke Shaw, once again, just like Wan-Bissaka. So really, yeah, I mean, I've talked myself into it. And then you've got the likes of Harry Maguire, who's probably a steady Eddie doesn't get your double-digit haul. In fact, I've now talked myself into probably Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw. Now looking at this, but you got your steady Eddie here with Maguire. The last 5 matches, 8-2, 1-2, 5. No double-digit hauls whatsoever. I mean, if I scroll up, he hasn't got a single double-digit haul this week. So I'm looking at that, and I'm going, stuff it. I'm bringing in Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka almost certainly for Cancelo and Alonso, and I would drop what's his face, Bowen and Lingard away at Everton, or at home to Everton, whatever. Yeah, I think I've talked myself around to it. I'll just have to wait for the games tonight, and I will do that move. In fact, that is exactly what I want to do. That makes complete sense to me, despite the fact that I've just said that Luke Shaw's a rotation risk. I mean, the reality being is that of the 2 games, Leicester and Liverpool are probably the 2 guaranteed matches he'll play. Man United, but they're going to get a rest tonight. Like I said, Solskjaer's going to be a friggin' idiot if he benches. If he plays a full strength team tonight. Obviously, he's not going to disrespect Roma. He's got a 4-goal lead, for Christ's sake. So you would think that the likes of Maguire, in fact, of the first teamers that Man United play, it's going to be ZAHA, Maguire, McTominay, guaranteed starts tonight. I reckon Cavani plays as well, so that's 4. The likes of Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Rashford, Fernandes, they can't play tonight. Solskjaer would be a fool. He would be a fool to play them. Man United are defensively strong enough to hold off Roma and be able to do so. I mean, I've just realised a player that people have not mentioned. I've just seen his name, Paul Pogba. Again, lack of minutes. 3 goals, 3 assists on whoscored.com. If I was to look at fantasy football, though, if I was to look at actual what he's done in that game, because obviously WhoScored don't take into account fantasy assists, aka penalties. Poor Pogba, don't touch him with a barge pole. He missed the games probably due to injury. Between game week 22 up to 28, he played 38 minutes only in the 3-3 against Everton, and then after that, Brighton, 83 minutes, 7 points. Then 1990, he got 5 points in each, and then he played 14 minutes against Leeds and got 1 point. I'm assuming he got a substitution. Yeah, so on the fantasy game, he's got 3 goals and 5 assists. 3 of those assists coming in the last 3. If poor Pogba was a guaranteed starter for those 3 matches, I'll tell you what, at 7.6, I'd probably take him over Greenwood if he was guaranteed. But certainly, I've made my mind up now. I'm making your mind up. But certainly, I've made my mind up, and it is going to be, and I can do it. I'll have 2 million in the bank for a -8. It'll be Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw in for Alonso and Cancelo. Yeah, I've made my mind up. Then the question is, would I triple captain one of them two? That is the big one. That's the big question. I'm definitely going to use it no matter what. So Let's see who's in the chat, because there's amazingly quite a few people here. Which Paul fans, Paul Cancelo, Paul Kinsella, Juan, Sean, Cadian, Gabriel Derop, Al Kapoor, Magdeep Patil, Sandhya Raj Singh, Armand Dillon, the Cape FPL, Uncle Juicy TV, One Life Soccer, morning. One Life Soccer saying I've got triple United. Yeah, I mean, it's... The thing is, I just get so... Like, Jason was making a point yesterday about... Do you know what? I'm going to try something, actually. This is a live experiment, so... Do you want to see something live? Right, I'm going to try something live right now. So... Right, what was it again? Yes! Yes. This could work, lads. Yes! Right then, lads. So, I'm going to do something now which may or may not. Come on. What are you doing? Oh, that's right. Because it's not. What I want to do is I want to bring up... So I was doing this perfectly fine yesterday, and now all of a sudden it's not working. Why are you not working, you piece of junk? So I want to bring... There we are. What the hell's going on here? It's not exactly how I want it, but I don't care. I just want to show you this from our Jason. Let's interact with it. Interact. Right, so this is when it probably won't come up. Hey, there it is. And then the adverts will play. Of course it will. Skip ad, go away. Let's get on with it. I need to put the volume up. So it was at 2021.
It's just a question of which ones now, because I think people might be a little blinded by the fact that there are 3 games without considering how tightly packed they are, and there could be a decent amount of rotation.
Bruno going to get rested, do you think, for one of those games?
I think I'm not going to make any transfers before I see the team sheet tomorrow against Roma, because like that game is all about one.
I mean, surely you'd say someone like Maguire, almost certain to play 3. You would imagine 3 games.
Yeah, I think
I think Luke Shaw will play 2. Bench boost for me is the most powerful, and then a free hit, and then the triple captain in that order.
Speaking of triple captains, did you hear what Steve-O did this week?
This week or previous week?
I think it was on his last video or something. He was talking about, guys, I've done it. So he brought in a ZAHA and he said, and he put the triple captain on him. I mean, he can change it, so it's probably... And then this week happens, and then it's a triple game week for Man United, and it's just like, I have to move it to Bruno now. I'm
gonna say what Steve-O would say to me in the early stages of the season. He's lost his head. He's lost the plot. He's sabotaging. He's sabotaging his team.
The problem with that statement, though, is that this is game week 35, not game week 2. And the reality is that I am... God knows where I am in the world. I think it's something like 900,000, 800,000, some nonsense like that. And sabotaging my team, no, that is not the case. It's the simple fact that I have literally... There is nothing for me to look at that. That's much better, Jace. There is nothing for me to do now, and I can't remember who the hell it was. I think it was Dread FPL. Sure that said it. Just have fun with it. But due to this news about the triple game week coming through. ZAHA's not that bad a pick. He's got a good partnership with Benteke at the moment. They're up against Southampton and Sheffield United, who are absolutely useless. And in those two games, I'd expect ZAHA to pick up a minimum of a goal and an assist across those two games. So yeah, that statement by Jace is a bit flawed, but
I don't understand what Steve-O is trying to achieve, because it's not like he's got nothing. I mean, he's still got a respectable league position to play for, even if he's outside the top 4 in the Torbay Elite. I mean, there's a lot can change in a few weeks. Like, a lot can change. And the fact that he's still got chips and he's willing to just, okay, he might.
The fact of the matter is that there are 4 game weeks left. Could a lot change? I got 27 poxy points last game week. Okay? And here we go. Time for me to clip myself. So I got 27 poxy points last week. And yet, the FPL General got, I believe, 37 points. And he only had 7 players playing. I had 10. What can I say? It's that last game week just gone. I mean, when Jason said at the start he only got 40 odd points. Yeah, so you got double what I got. 44, 47, whatever bloody points it was last week is a phenomenal score. So yeah, I've got Shackle to play for, so
I might turn around and say, I'm only going to catch if I do something radical. Maybe it is something radical like that that's going to end up giving him the edge. But honestly, I think it's way too risky. I think he's just maybe at the point now where he just has almost got no real care, and he's just going to just throw massive punt on some random player. I mean, for example, he brought in Azpilicueta and Alonso. I wouldn't have brought in either of those players. My eyebrows are raised at that. Bowen, he brought Bowen in.
So that statement there, I raised my eyebrows at Alonso and Azpilicueta. I was banging on and on and on and on. Members will know this about Azpilicueta and Alonso for weeks. As I stated at the time, I didn't take my own advice. Chelsea get about 12 clean sheets in a row with Alonso and Azpilicueta starting. Of course, the second I decide to bring in Alonso and Azpilicueta, guess what? They get rested. Rotation, all this absolute nonsense. And then when they do get clean sheets, neither of them are playing. Or like the other day, for example, they get a clean sheet against Fulham. Alonso got 1 minute and Azpilicueta didn't start. That decision was not bad. In fact, I would argue that the majority of fantasy football managers went down that route of getting double, triple Chelsea defence. So again, no one can predict what's going on with footballers. So that was just pure harsh luck on my behalf.
I mean, yeah, I know he's been playing up front, but nah, not for me. Lingard was...
Oh yeah, Bowen, yeah. Been playing extremely well. Very well, in fact, for West Ham. I was 1 week too late with Bowen. And I even said it on a video that I know for fact that I made a mistake not bringing in Bowen. But at the end of the day, I cannot account for what these players are going to do. In fact, when I brought Bowen in, just let me look at my transfer history for a split second. Don't even know where it is. Down the bottom, isn't it? So transfer history. I bought in Bowen Gameweek 33. Right, okay. So game week 33, and that was the week after he got his, I think it was an assist. So game week 32, he got an assist versus Newcastle. In fact, what am I doing looking at this for? Should just pick up his team. They're making your mind up. There we are. So Bowen, when it was basically announced that he's going to be playing up front, he played against Arsenal in game week 29. He got 8 points. Played against Wolves, 6 points. Leicester, 12 points. Newcastle, 5 points. And then, of course, I bring him in versus Chelsea. In fact, for their upcoming fixtures, because I thought, you know what, they've got a really good upcoming set of fixtures. So, yeah, against Chelsea, yeah, whatever. If he was to get something, it would have been a bonus. But them, Burnley, and he's got Everton, Brighton, West Brom, and then Southampton. Well, he ain't going to be playing now because Antonio's back. And, yeah, once again, I can't account for players coming back, and the fact that against Burnley he played 18 poxy minutes. By all accounts, we were terrible, according to my dad, versus West Ham, and it should have been more. So it's like Mark Southerns was saying on the FPL Gameweek. Now, it's about the decision making, and I'm happy with the decision making. I just can't account for anything. So, but yeah, it's disappointing. So, just a bit of a reaction to Jason's nonsense, shall we say there. I do agree with Vince. If I just quickly play that bit, actually, this is true. There's no denying this. Something that I do agree with. So if we just play,
Lingard was enough for me. He's getting rid of.
But like you say, I think it's because you guys start off with such a high intensity of rivalry, and once it kind of slips away, you just totally give up because it's so like you want to be at the pinnacle. So I appreciate it, but yeah.
And that is very true. You know, like with everybody that plays this specific game, we go into it thinking that I'm going to do really well this season. I'm going to do amazing. But the reality is that once you start, like I've been doing over the last God knows how many game weeks, just falling like a spud in the air, it has just been red, as you can see on the screen, just red, just red arrows galore. And last 3 game weeks just terrible. Admittedly, to be fair, taken minus 16 across those 2 game weeks and everything, but you can't account for it really. But you know, Armand Dillon saying double Crystal Palace defence. If I'm on a free hit, yeah, I'd certainly consider getting that. Sunny Raj Singh saying, should I get Bruno or Zaha? I already have Greenwood and Shaw. I mean, I'm stating the obvious, but Bruno, I mean, that's about as obvious as it gets. Cape FPL, I got 45 points with 7 players. Stuck on 300k, so taking it's for fun. The thing is, when you get to this time of the season, it's impossible to find differential picks that you feel are going to do pretty well, and it's all these combinations and whatnot. It's horrible, but I'll just quickly put up on the transfer screen what I'm going to be doing. So who was it? That was it. Getting Wan-Bissaka and Shaw. Stick them in there. So that's the plan. It would be for a -8. Wan-Bissaka and Shaw in for Cancelo. and Alonso. Like I said, my big question is: do I keep with the armband on ZAHA, or do I go with Wan-Bissaka or Shaw? The reality is that you would think Wan-Bissaka and Shaw would be the best bet with their triple, but don't know. Could ZAHA outscore those two? I mean, if I was predicting the games, which I may actually do that tomorrow, I may just call it a morning, but you're talking Sheffield United, Crystal Palace. The problem with Crystal Palace is that whether they're at it or not, and they're a tough one to call. You would think, I'd probably say 2-1 to Palace. I think Sheffield United may actually score because they got nothing to play for either. It could be an open game, but 2-0, 2-1, 1-1, 1-0, something like that to Palace. And then, of course, they've then got Southampton away, which actually I think could be the most profitable. And I could see that being quite a fun game. 2-1 either way, 3-1 either way. Neither teams have got anything to get whatsoever. So I just still think that Man United have got a very, very high chance of getting 2 clean sheets across those 3. Cavani can get big points with less games. Yeah, but against Liverpool, Leicester, the only game that he could get big points against is Aston Villa, because Aston Villa are friggin' useless, despite beating Everton. So, I don't know, I disagree there. I don't think that Cavani could get big points. If you're willing to take a punt on him, then... hello, Ray. What did you say there? Something about Wood. Just get Jamie Wood than Bale. Ray, you'll have to tell me what you're on about there. I have no idea what you're talking about. Did anybody... in fact, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it a morning. I'll probably do a bit of fun, a deadline stream tomorrow. Not a deadline stream, you know what I mean. I'll do my score predictions tomorrow. I think I'll do them, and yeah, so I'll do them tomorrow. So as ever, thanks for joining me at this extremely ridiculous early time in the morning. So goodbye.